Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Now this is the return to a series that I might potentially bring back fully, and it is Diamond Replay Analysis. So this isn't Unranked to Diamond, this is going on my main account and showing you stuff on my main account. Now two big reasons why I stopped doing this series a few months ago. Big one was Unranked to Diamond. I was just very busy with doing that, making sure I had a video every single day. But the second big reason was I just stopped playing on my main account, which is really bad of me. You know, I'll give you one big advice, guys. Never stop playing your main account for the sake of playing a smurf, because it will make you stupidly rusty. And that's what happened to me. So eventually, a few weeks ago, people asking in the comment section, can you do diamond content again? That would be great as a little bit of an extra thing. And I've wanted to do it for a while myself. So I jumped back on my main account in Diamond 2. And I was so rusty because I hadn't played at that level in like quite a while, like a month or so, you know, consistently. So I also was tilted at the time. So I went from Diamond 2 to Diamond 5, and that was pretty bad. Now, I didn't really want to do Diamond Replay Analysis when it's Diamond 5, considering the Unranked to Diamond series is nearing Diamond 5 in MMR. But this game right now is Diamond 4. The account itself, I'm nearly getting back to Diamond 3. Hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll be back to Diamond 2, and who knows, I might go for Diamond 1, because I am wanting to be very serious on this account again, which I don't think I've been in quite some time. I think it's very bad of me to get lazy on this account when it's my main account. Anyway, what this series aims to do, if you've never watched one of these with me before, it's just a standard replay analysis, so we're going to be going over the game, but we can break it down more. If I want to pause the game, you know, I can pause the game if I want to, I can speed it up, like pause it, I can rewind, I can look at the item builds, I can look at the gold, I can do all this stuff, which I can't do in a live commentary. So in a weird way, this video here is going to be more educational than the actual live commentaries. Anyway, the matchup I'm playing is Illaoi versus Gangplank. Now, as you can see by the video title, if you saw the video title, it is going to be called Deathfire Illaoi. So this episode, I go with the Deathfire Summoner because a few days ago when I had the idea of picking up Illaoi again, I did a bit of research and I was like, what's good on Illaoi right now? What's strong on her? What do people take? And, you know, people still go Grasp the Undying to be a complete sustain monster. Some people go the Surge, the movement speed burst mastery. But some people, with a very good win rate, go Deathfire Torch or Touch, whatever it is. Because it just gives you an insane amount of damage. Now, the reason for it is your E procs it, and your tentacles proc it. So there is constant damage going out as long as you keep, like, you just basically be relentless. Keep doing damage to the person and you'll just damage, and there's not a lot they can do. Now, the negative to Deathfire, I'll say it straight away right now, you're squishy. Like, you know, it's not going to be a defensive summoner. It doesn't give you movement speed, so it's basically there to do damage. Hopefully you burst them quick enough, and then it'll be a pretty good thing. Anyway, the matchup itself, Gangplank versus Illaoi, is relatively even while First Blood goes down in the bot lane. He can poke me, I can poke him, whoever lands it, whoever does damage is probably going to kill the other person. He has his barrels, I have my tentacles. Whoever does it better is probably just going to snowball. Now, as you can see here, he goes for like a kill on me, and I'm actually going to do this, and again, this is what I can do in this series. I'm going to rewind. Now, let's go over the thought process of this Gangplank. So if we stop it right here, so we can look at the bottom left of the screen. My health right now on Illaoi is 172. Gangplank's health is 224. So he's actually higher health than me right now. But also what you know is Gangplank has his Q, his ranged Q, so he can hit me with his Q. But you can see here, he also has his fiery sword, which means his passive is up. So that's a lot of damage. He also has gone Thunderlords. So if he Qs me, auto-attacks me potentially twice, Thunderlords proc, boom, I might be dead. Let's run it through again. We're actually going to run it through at half speed. So he goes for the Q any second. So there's the Q, there's the auto-attack. He doesn't kill me, and my tentacles finish off. Now, basically what he was wanting and what he was expecting me to simply just die straight away then. Like, he was just expecting me to go pop, and I'm dead. I healed. You know, he didn't kill me straight away for one thing. I flashed away so he couldn't auto-attack me again, and then my tentacles finished him off because I pressed W on him before I flashed. And also my tentacles heal me for whenever they actually land a hit. So that was just a little bit of a misplay by the Gangplank there. It was a good idea. I've done that myself many times, but it's just knowing how much Gangplank actually does. Now, he's going for the Dark Seal build. It's a build that, it's okay, you know, basically people ask me all the time, why do I go Doran's Ring start on Gangplank? It's great sustain. Let's actually speed up the game while we're walking back to lane. But yeah, why do I go, you know, Doran's Ring in the early game? Well, it's because it gives me sustain. It gives me basically a free lane if I play it correctly. Dark Seal is basically the same thing. I just don't like the item because I don't like what it really builds into on Illaoi. Anyway, I get a nice E on him, gonna chunk him even more, and this is where you can start to see my damage. Like, boom, that is 1 E, and he's nearly dead. Now, I know he's in a bit of a predicament here, and I'm just gonna go for another kill, auto-attack Q, and he's dead again. Insane amount of damage. Like, that is what this whole Illaoi build is for, is damage. As for last hits, we're relatively even. Bot lane's doing quite well again. But let me just mention again with this Diamond Replay series, you know, while there's just not a lot going on in top lane, is I want to show you guys what makes a win. So yes, this series is going to be highlighting probably wins a lot more than losses, but I think that's a good thing. I want to show you how to win, because Unranked Diamond is unpredictable. Who knows what's going to happen in Unranked Diamond? I'm going to pause the game quickly here. So the reason, and also why I'm pausing it, I can go over my mentality and my thought process to why I'm going to be doing certain things. So, I'm level 6. He's level 4. He doesn't have flash. I know he doesn't have flash, and I'm an Illaoi that does a lot of damage and heals a lot if I actually get a hit. What am I thinking? I'm thinking I'm going to dive him. A lot of people think I'm crazy right now, but anyway, I position behind him, and I ult. And he's dead straight away. And like crazy amounts of damage. I managed to survive. And boom. So what you'll notice as well is whenever he was here, I went behind him to cut off his exit. Because I was that confident I could dive him. Diving people, I will say one thing with League of Legends, is all about champion experience. Yes, this is my first game of Illaoi in Season 6. But I've played a lot of her in the past in Season 5 and in normal games, you know, when I was learning her. So I kind of know her power spikes. But this is my first game playing Illaoi with Deathfire, and I will have to say, I think it's incredibly strong. I think nothing can survive the damage. People may ask me while me doing this video, what counters it? I'd say getting camped probably counters it. I'd say if you put an Illaoi behind that has gone Deathfire, she probably won't be very useful. But if you give an Illaoi a free lane that she's allowed to do anything she wants, you're in big doo-doo and you're in a lot of trouble. And I think that's what we're kind of seeing here. Bot lane continues to do well. You know, they've got good control of the map. And I will say, I love Twitch as a champion. He's the enemy AD carry. But Twitch is a champion that is one of those high-risk, high-reward champions. You're either going to do extremely well, and you're going to wreck, and you're going to kill everything, or you're probably going to get behind. So I just keep that in mind if you do want to pick Twitch. You know, when you're wanting to climb in rating, it's always better to pick a consistent champion that you can do well with in most games than pick a champion that you're occasionally going to stomp on. Anyway, Gangplank is on the back foot, obviously. I land another nice E on him, and while this is up, I can just do a lot of damage to him. There's not a lot he can do about it. You know, 1 E is going to take him to about 2/3 health, which isn't bad. Now, what I'm thinking again is I'm just going to do decent damage to him, and he just simply gets exploded. That was without ultimate. That's just how much damage I'm doing compared to his build. Now, I'll say one thing, the Dark Seal build, it's why I go Doran's Ring first as well on Gangplank, because if you muck up, you already have it. You're not buying and investing more gold into that type of item. Where he went Corrupting Potion and then Dark Seal, which is not very useful when you get behind. So I'd say I wouldn't do that way around. I would definitely, if you want to have the AP sustain bit as Gangplank, go the Ring over the Dark Seal. Anyway, as a top laner right now, I'm probably thinking I am just wrecking this lane. I want to try and do two things. Well, there are two things that could be possible. I take the tower as quick as I can and basically just barrel my way down to the tier 2 tower, or I just leave it and continue to farm him. Those are my two options. Another option is just ignore everything that's going on and roam. You can see here that I do decide just to go for a crazy aggressive play, and he's just dead instantly. So that's kind of what my thought process was. I either could, you know, just continue to farm him, I could go for the tower, or I could go for global pressure. I decide, you know, that kill was great, it's a bonus kill, but I decide just to get the tower as quick as possible, because it kind of, if you get someone's tower in 8 minutes and they're 0-5, the chances of them being tilted is pretty damn high, because they've died 5 times in 1v1s, and now their tower is also dead. You have to remember one very big thing with League of Legends. It's a mental game, not just a mechanical game. I'd say even, you know, most of solo queue games and ranked games are won because people are tilting, they're raging, or they've just given up. So keep that in mind next time that you kind of like, do I go for this play? Do I not go for this play? A lot of the time I'd say go for it, you know, put them on tilt, make them feel that they're playing bad, because it's a mental game. You're going to just win the game from it. Continuing to push down in bot lane, the first death of my team comes out by the Hecarim. And again, people might say, oh, stomps aren't the most educational. I agree. I'm going to pause it right now just to explain my point. Stomps aren't the most educational in live commentaries, because a live commentary is like, oh, we're stomping, yay. But in this type of replay analysis, you can exactly see how I got my lead. You can see that I went Deathfire doing damage, and I'm just being I'm being relentless in constantly doing damage. I am not letting this guy do anything. I'm level 9, he's level 5 right now. That's how you take your lead. That's how you stomp people, is if you have any lead, you manage to get any lead in the early game, push it down into the ground as hard as you can and make it stick. Do not give them a chance to come back. Don't give them a chance to farm. Don't give them a chance to do anything other than die. And that's how you're going to get more stomps. That's how you're going to win more a lot of the time, is continue to use your lead. Anyway, I thought I'd just stay around because I thought it'd be pretty much a free kill. Unfortunately, he does use flash, so I don't get him. And at this point, I will say, you know, again, we're using Fog of War. I go for the flash Q again. That doesn't work. I'm being crazy aggressive right now. But let's just go over here and just pause it. Again, if you look at the minimap, I'm using only Fog of War for my team because I want you guys to see what I'm seeing. I'm going to back out now. Let's actually change it to all. Boom. Someone's coming. Lulu's coming. She's coming to gank me, which whenever you're here and you're putting crazy pressure on people, they probably have just seen you've blown flash, you have to expect people coming. Now, unfortunately, I think I do remember what's about to happen next, but we're going to try and base. I should have continued to run. I managed to see Lulu in the corner of my eye, but I think it's a little bit too late. I do get her flash and I do get Gangplank ult, but I eventually go down, and that was to my own mistake. I shouldn't have based here. In my own head, I was already thinking, I'm this far overextended, somebody is going to come and kill me. Why did I base here? Bad idea. I should have either continued to this bush or I should have run to the safety of my tower. It was very cocky me doing that. So there's another thing you can point out. Bot lane is doing the exact same thing I'm doing, basically. So this is why I chose this replay to do. Yes, it's a stomp, but you can learn that, you know, the main lesson of today is be basically relentless in your victory. So I'm doing what I'm, doing in top, just being relentless, pushing all the time, going for the tier 2, killing him all the time. Bot lane on the opposite side of the map is doing the exact same thing. They're just killing them, farming them. She's double the farm right now. Hecarim is going for the kill on the Gangplank. Gangplank, I don't exactly know what he's doing. I know there was a lot of typing going on at this point of the game, as you'd probably imagine in any rating. If the score is 15-2, there's going to be unhappy people. And from memory, nice kill by Zyra there. From memory, what happened this game, the Janna was the big rager. Nice kill by Caitlyn, and she might get out, or no, she does go down eventually. But yeah, I'm going to continue going top lane. But yeah, the Janna was the main rager in this game. Basically, the Gangplank, from my memory, was he plays two champions. His main champion was Yasuo, and then he played Gangplank whenever he couldn't get Yasuo. The Janna, even though the Gangplank hovered it, apparently the Janna banned it. Which, again, it's not the Gangplank's fault for not having his main champion. I'm going to look for an aggressive play, ult on top of him. But unfortunately, Janna comes around and they're like, oh, as soon as Janna comes around, there's not a lot I can do. They're probably thinking that they can get a kill on me right here. So I'm like, okay, I'll just fight you. Boom, there's a kill. They were being a little bit too cocky, thinking like, oh, she's low health, we can kill her, but not actually realizing how much damage I do. Lots of people coming up top lane. I get a nice double kill there. Try to go for more stuff, but when 4 people are top lane, you're gonna die. But getting 2 kills out of 4 people coming top, that's a win in my book. But yeah, Janna banned the Yasuo's champion. And that's one thing to say. I hate Yasuo top lane. You know, I'm not a big fan of him, as you guys know. I think they throw more games than they win. But if someone hovers a champion, and especially if they're like a one-trick, again, even though I'm not a fan of one-trick ponies, don't purposely ban them out. If you're purposely banning out your own team, you're basically just asking to lose. Anyway, actually a quite nice play by the enemy team. Unfortunately, the camera decided to go away. But yeah, nice play, good gangplank ult. They are starting to get a few things here or there, but it's probably a little bit too late. If you look at the differences here, we actually go into the gold tab. So overall, I've got 6,200 gold. Gangplank has 3,600. If you go to the AD carries, 6,100 for Caitlyn, 3,600 for Twitch. We are so far ahead in gold in this game, we can basically do whatever we want. And that's another big thing to learn, is the advantages sometimes aren't as obvious, and I just walked through a pink there. The advantages aren't always as obvious as they seem. A lot of people just look at the kills at the top of the game, but there's so much more to look at when you're looking at advantages. Look at this last hitting, look at towers taken, look at objectives taken. That's where the leads come from. Anyway, being as strong as I am and being an Illaoi that I can 2v1 or potentially even 3v1 people, I thought going bot lane was a good choice here because it gives my team the ability to go do Dragon for free, but I'm still in the area. Or if they really wanted to, they could go do Baron. Now let's actually just quickly pause the game here and just mention something. This red buff, right, when we are walking into this area, this could be considered now the property of the red team. The Gragas being around, there's no point. Like, he is too far and too far behind and a little bit too squishy. He's even gone the Runic Echoes build when it's been a stomp. He just dies straight away if he wanted to get this red. So this would be a good choice for him just to leave it alone and just run away. From memory, he goes a little bit greedy, and I don't know why. Boom, gets chunked completely. I haven't even had an E on him at this stage, and boom, he's got. Just no point really being around that area. You're not really going to get anything from it. Lulu is looking for a play on the Caitlyn. She manages to get out. Gangplank just walks into me, so I get a free E on him. Going to deal damage. And then something actually happens, which is quite funny. I'm going to pause it just to make something very clear. So I have the E. You can see he's got like a blue tinge to him, this Gangplank. That means my E. So the whatever the debuff is, he's now a vessel for my tentacles, right? So he spawns tentacles around him. You can see these lines are Aurelion Sol's ult. So that's going to deal damage. So let's see what happens. We're going to slow it down to half speed. So Aurelion Sol ult comes down. My tentacle spawns here. And boom. I get a double kill from basically just having him as a vessel. I was so confused. Because, again, this is live. You know, I can't replay things in live play. I'm just like, wait, how? What? I got a double kill? What's going on? Janna, again, you can see she's probably typing. But yeah, that's Illaoi. That's the strength of Illaoi. You can get kills by basically not doing anything other than landing an E. Isn't that great? I do like this champion. I am definitely thinking about picking up properly again. She's walking into my tentacle line, but as she does, I think, manage to get away. Or do I kill her here? She's a vessel once again. So maybe a wild tentacle killer. Ultimate comes down, and I'm trying to basically just heal as much as I can. I know if I can just stay around and W people, I'll probably be okay. And I managed to just mosey my way on out there. Caitlyn does go down, but she gets one kill for it. The enemy team right now being this health should just honestly go back. Janna flashes my Q. I do flash Q to try and kill her. Land an E, but that was a really good play by her. She pushes me back so it doesn't actually hit her. And there's a big team fight going on. We just want to get this and then run away. Gangplank, boom. Nice free kill, and that'll do for this push. Now remember, there's a Twitch on the enemy team, so at the moment I'm thinking in my head, oh, where is he? But then I notice he's doing a farming here. So I'm just going to do a free base, and hey presto, we're good to go. So right now I'm 10 kills, 2 deaths, 0 assists. So hopefully from this replay analysis, you guys have seen how I got that lead. Again, I want to drive the point home, is just be relentless in your lead. Do not give your lane opponent a chance to get back into the game, because if you do give them a chance to get back into the game, potentially turns can happen, throws can happen, which happen all the time. But people, again, ask me all the time, you know, in the comment section of the videos, I'm bronze, I'm silver, I do well in every game, I can't win. It's probably because you're giving your opponents a way back in the game. It's probably because you're not grouping at the right time to finish the game when you're ahead. You'll notice as soon as I was like 5-0, 6-0, I started going bot lane. I started grouping a bit more because I knew my strength was really strong, so I should use this to just try win the game as quick as possible. I think Aurelion Sol does a nice ult and just snipes the Janna there. You don't see much Aurelion Sol play. It is nice seeing him get played. I go for an E. It misses by like a millimeter, unfortunately. And again, this is where we're going to start sieging. They have a bit of wave clear with Gangplank barrels, but when we're on the tower doing the damage to it, there's not a lot they can do. And again, lesson of today is you're ahead in the game. Push. Try end the game. Don't give the, like, Twitch's bot lane farming. if you let him do that for 20 minutes, he's back in the game. Anyway, I tried a position here to just run and push them off the tower, maybe even look for an ultimate. I ult there, but honestly, again, I want to pause it just really quickly while the fight's going on. Me ulting here is a really bad ultimate, because the Illaoi, like, her tentacles grasp onto, like, structures, and I'm too far away from any structure for it to do anything. So that's just one thing to know. I think I only got one tentacle in that whole ultimate there, which is over here. So that was a pretty poor ultimate, and then one eventually spawns over here. Caitlyn does go down, and we are actually, you know, we went for a very big team fight there, pretty damn split as well. My tentacles are trying to do some work at the backline. Zyroplant also taking her down pretty far. Get the E on the Janna, managed to get her into my vessel point, and Aurelion Sol picks that up himself. It's always nice again seeing nice Aurelion Sol play. I'm going to go back, just may as well. I know I've got teleports, so if they get in trouble I can just teleport straight back into the fight. And one thing just to say, we haven't spoken about it at all, is my item build. So, because I was ahead, and I would say Black Cleaver is a great item on Illaoi regardless of if you're going any masteries or anything. It's a great item on her. She does a lot of damage with it. After that point, I went a Hex Drinker. Just to give me a bit of, you know, survivability, but it also gives me damage. And then after that point, I think I went Merc Treads, lack of CC, because Illaoi, she's basically, her biggest weakness is getting stunned when she ults, because if she can, you know, put her ultimate on, use W all the time, and then, you know, ult everything and heal everything, she's just going to kill everything. But if she gets stunned, you're screwed. So Merc Treads is probably the best thing to go to reduce the amount of time she's CC'd. Get the W off before she polymorphs me, so it actually goes off. She is poking me a little bit here. I wouldn't say it's the best idea. I do go for an ultimate, thinking that she might stay around, but she doesn't. Get an E, though, which is going to do a decent amount of damage to her, and it actually kills her. That's how much damage it does. But then after that point, I go Steric's Gauge. I think it's a great item on her. Remember, you're going to be in the middle of a team fight. Gragas goes for an engage on me. Unfortunately, the stun doesn't land by Aurelion Sol. If it did, he'd probably be dead. But yeah, it's a great item on her. You're going to be in the middle of a team fight as Illaoi, and then you just go huge when they do a bit of damage to you. Basically, they're making them hit you, because, you know, the bigger the person is as a model and stuff, the chances of them hitting you is probably really high. Aurelion Sol tries to go for the Twitch, but he does flash out. But yeah, the game is pretty much at the point now that you've probably learned everything from this replay. Probably what I'm going to do is maybe do this once a fortnight, and every single episode will have one main lesson. And, you know, this one, yeah, it's a stomp episode. The enemy team hasn't had much of a chance of winning. I'm probably going to TP, I would say. Yeah, TP straight in at the back line. But today's episode, again, is being be relentless. Don't give them any chance to get back into the game. Go for the kill on Twitch. Managed to get that. Also get the E onto the Lulu. Managed to get her to become a vessel, so she is slowed. My tentacle hits her, and then Caitlyn ult, so that was actually pretty funny. Go for the Janna kill, but she manages to use quite a nice ult, but boom, Aurelion Sol snipes her to her death. But yeah, the main lesson, as I mentioned it throughout, is be relentless. Don't give them a chance to come back in the game. Continue to push, continue to kill them, and you'll probably just win the game. And that's what today's episode shows. If you, in the comment section, want this series to continue, just say that you like the series. I'm going to say if this video gets over 1,000 likes, then I'll probably continue it. But also a big point, what type of game do you guys want to see? I go for an ultimate play on there, Gragas runs out straight away. But yeah, what type of game would you want to see? Do you want to see more stomps on how you take a lead and push that forward? Do you want to see a closer game? Do you want to see losses in the series? I will say, just as a personal thing, this series I would probably want to focus more on victories than losses, just to show you how you win and break that down. Because the Unranked to Diamond series, let's face it, that covers a fair amount of losses also. But that's going to do it. Let me know what you think, and that's going to... I've said that too many times. I've not done a replay analysis in quite some time, so I imagine I'm quite rusty at them. But that's going to do it. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Throw a like on the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.